Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us read one or two verses. We'll read verse number 14. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yada Sattve Pravruddhetu Pralayam Yati Deha Bhrita Tadottamavidan lokan amalan pratipadyate rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinastamasi मूढ़योनिषु जायते कर्मण सुकृतस्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलम् रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमसः फलम् न कर्मणा न प्रजया धने न त्यागे नैके अमृतत्व मानसु. Kaivalya Upanishad, Mundukopanishad tells us it is only by tyaga, renunciation alone immortality is attained. Now the question is, whatever we want to give up, should we give up that with understanding or without understanding? If we give up something without understanding, it will again come back because we have not given it up with proper understanding or proper vision. And therefore, if we want to give up everything, then we must know what is everything. And second thing, that everything what we want to give up, what are the signs, what it is, how it is appearing in our life. So all that has to be known. Therefore in the 13th chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna brought out these 2 points. One is Kshetra, second is Kshetrajna. That which cannot be rejected is the reality, and that which cannot be kept intact as it is the matter, is the Prakriti. So, Paramatma is that who cannot be given up, and the world is that which you cannot hold on to. This is the rule. There are 2 metals. One is gold, other is mercury. Mercury is also a metal. Gold you can hold by your hand, put in your pocket and smuggle it. Now mercury you cannot hold by hand. Now this is the rule. Can you do anything about it? Nothing can be done. Then you have to accept this and then decide how we should work. In the same manner, we have to accept these rules. The rule is Kshetrajna cannot be given up and Prakriti cannot be held as it is. It is bound to undergo Vikruti. And therefore, what can be given up, give it up. What cannot be given up, cannot be given up. So therefore, what will be the spiritual practice now? Tyage naike. If we have to give it up, it is only the Prakriti that we can give up. Now, if we want to give up the Prakriti, we must know what the Prakriti is, what are the signs, what are the components. And therefore, in the 13th chapter, having brought these 2 points clearly, the 14th chapter began to emphasize on our mind the different aspects of the Prakriti. For what purpose? So that we can give it up with understanding. That is the purpose of this 14th chapter. Therefore, we were told there are 3 gunas of this Prakriti. And these 3 gunas are responsible for all the experiences of life. These 3 gunas are responsible for our bondage, involvement, attachment in this world, and these 3 gunas are responsible for us keeping engaged in this world, and these 3 gunas alone are responsible for the determination of the course of life hereafter. Thus, up to this 15th verse of the 14th chapter, we have discussed all these points very systematically, methodically. After having said this, now in the 16th verse, we are told, Karmanaha sukrutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam. Sukrutasya karmanaha, satvikasya karmanaha ityarthaha. So, of the satvik karma, nirmalam phalam ahuhu. Now, what is the satvik karma? What is that karma which is under the umbrella of sattva guna? Sattvic karma is that karma, the impact of which is recorded on the quality of mind that is left behind. If we go to the temple, going to temple is what karma? Sattvic karma. Very good. But after going to the temple, you start fighting with the Panditji or the other devotee in the queue. And as a result, make even the God disgusted. Oh, why this fellow has come? So going to temple is appearing as a sattvic karma. But can we call this as sattvic karma? No, because sukrutasya karmanaha sattvikam nirmalam phalam aho. So nirmalam, so those karma which are removing the rajas and the tamas influence from our mind and thereby from our life, they are called as sattvic karma. So karmana sukrutasyahu nirmalam phalam, and second is sattvikam phalam. There are 2 of them. Now, what is the sattvika phala? Sattvika phala is when we are more and more interested in the study of the scriptures, we are interested to know more about the truth, we are interested to be committed to walk the spiritual path. If this is happening, then we are really practicing the sattvic karma in our life. Otherwise, in one place, in our Narad Bhakti Sutra, if you have read, Swami Khandaji Maharaj makes one point very beautifully. He says, there are many people, when Bhagavad Katha goes, you must have seen, or you may see sometime, God willing, they make one separate area for dancing when the Bhagavad Katha goes. If you have not seen, you will see sometime, and it is on TV, you must have seen. So what they do, here Babaji is giving the katha, and such dancing experiences are possible when there is music. So those Babajis who are having a lot of music in them, so they will be singing the glory, how the gopis were attracted towards the Lord, and wonderful stories about the Lord. And naturally there is a lot of music going on. And for people to express their joy through dance, there is a separate enclosure where you can go and dance. This is for the first time when I saw, I was feeling so peculiar. But then I found, this is particularly among the Marwadis or the North Indians or Rajasthani, part of the North Gujarat. There this is a tradition. When the Bhagavad Katha goes, suddenly somebody will get up and start doing like this thing, till the bhajan goes. Now their devotion is so powerful. God, 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 God. But the same people, Swami Khandanji writes, same people, when they have to deal with their servants, they treat the servants like dirt. This is particularly so in the north. One day I was so hurt, but you can't do anything. This is Lord's Leela and get out of it. In somebody's house I was, and very good, nice people, very loving, helping, and everything good. And when it comes to their own servant, who is working there like a bullock day and night, for him, if he has to sleep, there is one torn, this mattress made of the grass, chatai, and in one corner below the staircase, without a proper pillow or without a bed sheet or without a cot or without anything to cover properly, he is sleeping there. And day and night he is working there. See, what kind of devotion this is? Therefore, karmanaha sukritasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam. If we start real sattvic karma, we start appreciating the divine presence in the people around us. Appreciation of the divine presence around us is called as the sattvic karma phala, because you are predominantly working with the divine sanction. Dharma is nothing but working under the divine sanction. What is to be done, what is not to be done. Matru devo bhava, pitru devo bhava, acharya devo bhava, atithi devo bhava. So all these things are what? Only a training for us to recognize the divinity. Therefore, karmanaha sukrutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam. So two things happen. First is, your heart, antakaran, becomes pure, free from the influence of the rajas and tamas. And second, your expression in the world is divine expression. And what is the divine expression? Divine expression is love for everybody. So, karmanaha sukritasyahu sadvikam nirmalam phalam. Now the second one is rajasastu phalam dukkham. So, rajasaha karmanaha, of this rajas karma, phalam dukkham ityartaha. Why? Because rajo ragatmakam viddhi trushna samudbhavam. So this rajoguna is ragatmak attachment, too much of attachment to the karma, to the results of the karma, and there is no karma which is giving you happiness. See? Sarvarambhahi doshena dhumena agni ivarutaha. Everything, anything you do, you have to have problems. And such people who are constantly engaged in lots and lots of activities, they are extremely disturbed and miserable. This is one thing which has really gone deep in my system by God's grace. When you see the Mahatmas who have left their homes, who have left everything, got on the spiritual path, and again they caught up into the same samsara. And how they get caught up in the same samsara? By creating another samsara. Then Bhakta Mandali, their devotees, their institutions, and then there are many meetings and the committees and government officer. Hey, Ram, 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 Ram. Is this the purpose? You left everything. It is something like when you go to Haridwar, Rishikesh, that area, you will see all these good things. There is one person, I know him, he is very, very well learned as regards the Vedic mantras. He is from South India and he knows all the Vedic mantras. He is a Pakka Karmakandi perfectly well. And he was the one who came when we got Diksha in mass. All of us, when we got Diksha, that Panditji was called along with another 3-4 of them. And in a very elaborate way, the whole Diksha was done. And he has got very good voice. He can really sing and make even the stone idols dance. He has got that voice. So wonderful, exceptional personality. Now, because he was so closely involved, the impression is on my mind. And then he must have forgotten, because then after we have undergone so much of change. And then when I saw him in Rishikesh, he had discarded that Brahman vesh of a grahastha, and then he puts on this ochre clothes, ochre robe, and then he goes here and there, and because he is very well read, he can quote here and there, like that. And then after that, this is to be done, that is to be done, and for that, then he has got some kind of a shop where he has employed somebody and some kind of working going on. Now when a Babaji will open a shop, what will be the name of their shop? Karishma Kapoor Pan Bidi shop? It will be Advaita Panananda Bhandar. See? Now can you imagine? So, when you get involved into that, then dukkham karmanaha phalam, all the time worried. Because any type of karma you do, keeping the desires in your view, you are bound to be miserable in life. And then such people are earlier started with Krishna, 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 Vittala, 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 Vittala. Vittala disappears, only now Rukmini, 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 Rukmini. Vittala has gone. Because the money is required and nothing else. And then dukkham. And when a person becomes miserable, he makes everybody around him miserable. One of my friends, his daughter was telling me, Swamiji, earlier Baba was not like this. He was totally different. He used to have nice bhajan kirtan and we used to really, really enjoy. After bhajan kirtan is over, there used to be such a nice atmosphere in the house and everywhere. But now every time only one theme, money, money, money. See? So a person becomes himself miserable and makes others miserable. Therefore, rajasastu phalam dukkham. One day one person came to me for asking something. Swamiji, I want to ask you something. I said, I don't have anything to tell you. You go to such and such person, he will tell you, because your path and approach to reality is different. And my approach is different. So we tell, no, Swamiji, that I understand everything, that you are not walking that path, but even then I want to come to you. I said, why don't you go to them? He said, Swamiji, that is the whole problem. The moment we go, a big list is presented before us. Bhagatji, aao. You have come, very good. Now see, we require about 5,000 chairs. So how many you will like to give? So we go there to solve our problems. Instead of that, a list is presented before us. I said, now what you have learned from this? He said, I have learned I never go now. Because any time we go, only money is being asked. I said, no, you have not learned. Learn something. If you want to walk path what I am walking, you should not stop your process of learning. Then what should we learn from this? I said, When somebody, every time, even if he is a Mahatma, asks you something, every time you go ask something, you get fed up, is it not? Yes. Now you go before the Lord. Every time, oh Lord, he gets fed up. And when he gets fed up, he will punish you and you become miserable. Therefore, karmanyeva adhikarasti ma phaleshu kadachana. You do your duties cheerfully, happily. Don't try to do this and then become miserable, make others miserable. Rajasastu phalam dukkham. Now see these two types of karma. Let us understand through comparison. Sattvic karma is an expression of inspired existence. And Rajasic karma is a compulsion of the desire pressure in our mind. See the difference? When the saints and sages work in this world, they are not working under the compulsion of the desire pressure. They are working with the joy of inspiration. This is the basic difference. And therefore, these people who are working under the compulsion of the desire pressure, they do everything, but they are miserable. Look at most of the parents. They have done everything for their children and then they are miserable. Is this the day to see I have done everything for my... The moment you become miserable because of your doing good to others, you were never walking the spiritual path. It was a bargain. When I look after my children in the childhood and educate them so that in the old way they will come to my help. Therefore, such people become miserable. That's why you see, in our country particularly, most of the elderly people are miserable because of the children. Now they don't understand that the times have changed and what was during our childhood is totally different today. And when they are not able to accept the change, they have done very sincerely, they worked really hard, they have sacrificed, no doubt about it. But what is the result? Karmanaha rajasastu phalam dukkham. Therefore, if we have really lived the life of sattvic existence, we will definitely have dispassion. And if we have dispassion, you will never be miserable. Like our Bhagavad Mahapuran, Tulsidaji's Ramcharitmanas tells the same thing. Dharmate birati. If you have lived the life of right conduct, dharma, you are bound to get birati vairagya, dispassion. And if you have got dispassion, you cannot be miserable. Because we are miserable only when we are attached. So, rajasastu phalam dukkham. So, such people, rajasa karmanaha phalam dukkham. What? Karmadhikarat phalam api dukkham eva. Karana anurupyad rajasam eva. Because according to its own cause, this rajasic karma is also dukkha swarupa because rajo ragatmakam viddhi. Because rajo guna is nothing but extremely raga and therefore trishna sanga samudbhavam and therefore constantly attached, wanting more and more, expectation of any kind is the source of misery in life. See? Therefore, rajasastu phalam dukkham and then ajnanam tamasap phalam. They have come across many Mahatmas, in their life this rajas dukkha really is so touching. They have done so much. In Mysore or somewhere in the south, one example I'll tell you. There was there is, I think, I don't know still there or not. And he had really built up an institution. Very good, working day and night. And then these RSS people approached him that we want to conduct a huge camp We have got about 3,000-4,000 students participating. So, will you please hire it out to us or give us free so we can conduct the camp for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. He got so angry and annoyed, and his statements were, for the youth of this country, forget about it. I have done so much for the youth of this country. I have done so much, and now the same students of my own institution, they speak bad about me, they throw things at me, they burn my feet. I don't want to give anything to these rascals of this country. Now, if you are really served, you can never be bitter. If you are bitter, you are not served. You are only doing the Atma Puja, Atma Samman. And such people have a lot of expectation. And when expectations are not fulfilled, bitterness and misery comes in life. Therefore, Rajasastu phalam dukkham. Such people suffer terribly in life. And the another thing is, when such people work so much, and what is the misery in their life? In the old age particularly, whole life they worked hard, therefore they suffer. In old age, how they suffer? In old age, such people are isolated and nobody wants them around. About this I will give 1 or 2 examples. There was one lady who came and told me, Swamiji, I don't know, everything is fine in our house. My husband, my children, our business, everything is good. And I got my own servants, 2 of them. I got my own car, driver. There is a checkbook. Anytime I can do anything. I can go anywhere around the world. Nobody can stop me. Everything is there. But I don't know. I feel something is missing in my life. I am not happy. From outside, when anybody will look at me, he will have the same thing. That, Amma, what more God can give you? You have got everything in life. Good health, nice husband, extremely rich, known throughout the world trotting husband, and 3-4 sons, all of them very healthy, everything is fine. And then what is that which is troubling me? I do not know. So please help me. Then I told her, I said, Amma, I'll tell you, are you ready to listen and digest? Yes. I said, listen here. You have realized, but you are not accepting. What is that? You are unwanted by everybody in your family. Your husband doesn't want you because he is busy in his old business. Your sons don't want you because they have got better options. Your grandchildren don't need you because you are outdated for them. And this is also known by all the servants in the house, therefore they also don't care for you. And therefore you are given your servants to care for you. And as a result, you have come to this cul-de-sac of your life, that I am the most unwanted person. And what you have done? I have done so much. Rajasastu phalam dukkham. Therefore, whenever we have become miserable in our life, in spite of doing everything good in our life, understand, we were only doing the worship of our own ego. It was never a goodness. Rajasastu. Because had it been good, satvikam karmana sukritasyahu satvikam nirmanam phalam, you would never have had a miserable existence. See? Now the third one, ajnanam tamasaha phalam. Tatha ajnanam tamasaha tamasasya karmanaha adharmasya purvavat ajnanam phalam. So like rajo ragatmakam viddhi, and accordingly we get the karma phala. Then similarly this tamas is what? Tamo gun is nothing but only the ignorance, and he is able to bind us only by tamasta ajnanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidravihi tanya vadnati bharata. Now this rajasaha and rather tamasaha karmana phalam, tamasasya karmana phalam, what will be that? Tamas is what? Adharma pradhan. Why it is adharma? Because mohanam sarvadehinam. Adharma can happen when we are under the delusion of our own identity. If I recognize and remember that I am your teacher and I have to teach you, then I will never go the wrong way. What will be the wrong way? Wrong way will be not teaching you properly. Why not teaching you properly? Because I have got some other interest. What is other interest? By teaching you I don't get anything. But if I take tuitions from the other students, then I get money. Here anyway I get my salary. This is how we know the teachers, when they have stopped teaching their own students sincerely, now they have got, every teacher has got a special tutorial in his or her house. So there are two ways. They go to school and college only for hooking the student, those who can join their coaching class. And then in their coaching class, they take money out of their nose from the students' parents. And if the students don't join the classes of these teachers, they don't get the marks, etc. This is how, this is tamasic karma. Because mohanam dehinam atmanaha, we have forgotten our identity. What for we are in this world? We have taken ourselves to be the body. Therefore, our whole life is lived only by the body, for the body, on everybody. That is why such tamasic phalas, tamasic karmas, they only lead us to more and more ignorance, more and more. What is ignorance? Avidya kama karma. How do we know we are under the influence of ignorance? When we are having tremendous desire pressure, then we have ignorance. And when we have got tremendous desire pressure, we will ourselves be uncomfortable. And when we are uncomfortable, do you think we like other comfortable people? No. This is how you know this tamoguna's glorification, by giving reservations and some special sanctions, has destroyed those people only. Nobody is destroyed. So, rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasaha phalam. Now, if I understand this way, see, most of the students, those who have studied from me, they have this complaint. Afterwards, they become all right. But during study, they all have complaint. You also must be having. And that is that Swami is extremely strict. He never even gives any chance for us. You are here few. How much I have suffered in other institutions when I taught, you don't know. There will be competition. You are going, I go. This girl who comes over here, 2 years, how she has tortured me. Keeping the glass of water there. Now suppose there are 60, 70 students. So, Swamiji, we want to, keep the glass of water for you. I said, okay, keep. How does it matter? I never knew that, politics. Then this girl will start fighting with that. How can you take this is my duty? You are cannot do, you do this and that thing. And if somebody else keeps, she will come and remove that glass and keep her own glass and all that, and throw that water here and there. Now, is this the study? Therefore, when you become strict, then everything is perfectly all right. No favoritism to anybody. The moment even an iota of favoritism is shown, you are destroying the growth of the students. First. Second thing, the approach of the teacher should be to make the student a strong support to the whole world, not make the student a weakling. See, this is what our Swamiji used to do. Our Swamiji has never appreciated weaklings around. Therefore, I remember how many years I was with him. He has never asked even once anything about me. And he never knew who am I, not even once. What is my name, where are my parents, what for I come, what is my... Nothing of the sort. Then alone you can really grow strong. Otherwise all the time, and then his term, he used to use this word. Such gurus are called as mule guru. Better, I'll carry you. No, you become strong. Therefore, these three things, if we are walking the spiritual path, observe what is the quality of your mind. If you are walking the spiritual path, be aware you are not becoming miserable. And if you are walking the spiritual path, see that you are not lost in relativity. These are the three areas which are the results of sattvic karma, rajasic karma and tamasic karma. When we become thus aware that our functioning in this world is constantly monitored by keeping an eye on the quality of the mind. Karmanaha sukrutasya nirmalam and satvikam phalam. Is it happening? Then very good. You are on the right track. Then rajasastu phalam dukkham. The moment you start becoming, you shut up. No more misery. Don't cooperate. And the third one, are you getting lost too much in this relativity? Don't create friends and enemies anywhere you go. Be friendly with everybody and not inimical to everybody. So, rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanat tamasap phalam. Now, kincha gunebhya bhavati. So, when these gunas have become a prominent character of our personality. Now, up to here what we have seen, when these three gunas are influencing our life, we are either engaged in the sattvic karma, rajasic karma, tamasic karma. And by these three types of karma, that guna becomes a prominent feature of our life. See? Somebody spends more and more time in music. So he is doing other things also. He has become a commerce graduate and all that. But he has become basically a singer. In the same manner, we are leaving everything in our life under the three gunas. But our attention was more on the purification of the mind, etc. Then accordingly, that guna will become more and more as a character of our life. And when these gunas create character of our life, what happens? This is said in the 17th verse. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam.
Sattvat sanjayate jnanam.
Rajaso lobha evacha.
Rajaso lobha evacha.
Pramadamohau tamaso.
Pramadamohau tamaso.
Bhavato jnanamevacha.
Bhavato jnanamevacha.
Sattvad labdhatmakatvad. Labdhatmakatvad means sattva has become our atma. It has become our character. See? And how the characters are formed? When we repeat the same thing a lot of time in your life, then that becomes our character. So, Sattvad labdhatmakatvad, then sanjayate samutpadyate jnanam. So when a person is more and more of sattvic disposition, he is attracted towards something higher, and his mind becomes capable of learning and knowing more and more. See? Therefore, sattva sanjayate jnanam. Now such people are naturally inclined to study. They are never tired and bored of studies. Whenever we feel tired, bored of studies, understand we are now getting out of the enclosure of the sattva guna and either entering the rajas or the tamas. We all undergo this experience, isn't it? When we are studying sometime, up to some level our study goes very beautiful. And then I think I should take a little rest. Now that tamoguna has overpowered, and therefore the study is no more possible for us. Now such people, what they will do? They will relax for some time and again start studies. See? And if they do not have sattva as the very character of their life, what they will say? Oh, this is not for us, no. We should go for something different, Let us go for bodybuilding. See? There was one girl from Karnataka. She came for the course. From her biodata, when I read, she came to interview also, and very smart, bright eyes, and studying architecture. So I said, why you are left halfway? Oh no, Swamiji, I left it. I just wanted to walk spiritual path. I said, you should have completed that and then come. No, I want to join. And then other characters, what are the other qualities? Other qualities are, she was an athlete. Very good in running and other, that high jumps and all kinds of things. Because she was a very good sports person, she got admission in that architecture college. Now you may get admission in the architecture college on what ground? What is the qualification? Qualification is you can run. See, what will happen? You cannot complete that course. Is it not? So you may get admission. This is happens, in many colleges I have seen. They get admission because they belong to a particular privileged class, and after going there, then they are totally disgusted. They can't cope up with the study and understanding. Then their complaint. What is their complaint? The teachers are biased, they don't teach us properly. See? Therefore, sattva sanjayate jnanam. If we are predominantly sattvic, we will keep on the area of study, contemplation, understanding, etc. Then only we become more and more introvert, more and more subjective in our understanding. Sattva sanjayate jnanam. Now second meaning is, when our sattva guna is extremely predominant in and through all our activities of life, what happens? We are able to understand this instantaneously, what I am going to tell you. What is that? I told in the morning. On the spiritual path, single-pointedness is an obstacle, and awareness is an asset. Now, if this can be correctly understood, then we are in that sattvic understanding. And if we get carried away, no, but without single pointedness, how can you become aware? Yes, you are right. I was just playing fool. He cannot understand. Therefore, sattva sanjayate jnanam. When Tattvamasi Mahavakya Upadesh is given, and after the teacher has understood, my dear student, yes sir, what you understood? You are Brahman. Why? Because you only taught us you are Brahman. So that is why same we have understood. So we have become only a parrot. Although the instruction of the teacher is you are Brahman, understanding of the student should be I am Brahman, is it not? Sattva sanjayate jnanam. Then rajasaha lobha evacha. Rajasaha lobha evacha. And rajoguna is a faculty or the facet of our personality which creates more and more greed. And this greed has no end. Greed about what? Greed about the worldly possessions, one. That is the lowest kind. Second, greed about doing more and more work. Such people suffer. Then third, greed about studying more and more. And they go on reading so much without the proper guidance and understanding, and ultimately they get lost in their own chaos. Like yesterday I told you one letter which came, that you told that in Paramatma there are no gunas, and unless we go beyond the gunas, the truth is not revealed. But here our one local Advaitananda tells that the Paramatma doesn't have the guna to be acquired from outside. He has got his own gunas. Jiva has to acquire gunas. Now to such a person who has not understood the meaning of the word guna, in what reference what is said, now what can you talk to such a person? Why this happens? Because he has not been following the path properly. Therefore, only reading, going from one place to another place doesn't help. So, rajaso lobha evacha. Then our friend, pramada mohauchu ubhau tamasaha bhavataha and ajnanam evacha. See? By these three gunas, sattva gives you knowledge, one. Rajas gives you lobha, and chakarat kama also you can take, because trishna sanga samudbhavam. So sattva gives you only knowledge. Predominant character of a sattvic person is knowledge. Predominant character of a rajasic person is greed and desire. Chakarat kamaha, we can take it that way. And now the third one, our friend tamas. Three of them, pramada moho dvau and ajnanam evacha. So this tamoguna, when that becomes our character, we have these three things in us. Pramada, moha and the ajnanam. Pramada is inability to change our standpoint, inability to change our old habits, inability to change ourselves, because we are too much under the influence of our old lifestyle. That is called as pramada. This is the expression of predominant tamasic character. Then the second is moha. What is moha? Whatever I think, whatever I do, whatever are my views, they are the last words. Nobody can improve upon them. They are the last words. Moha. And such people, they are either catching other people or they themselves get caught. And you know, such people, they are threatened by their gurus. I never knew all this. When people come and talk, then slowly you know what is going on in the spiritual market. One person came and told me, Swamiji, I don't know what to do, but I am so suffocated inside. I want to take help from you. I said, what is that? Shall I give you some strepsils or some, pump so that your suffocation goes out? No, don't do that way. I am very serious. I said, okay, tell me what happened. Then he told me, Swamiji, we are again and again told, every satsang, first we have to go compulsory. If we don't go, we are cursed openly. Second thing, if we go to any other satsang, that is considered as Guru Droha. Don't go. Third, if you even salute any other Mahatma, that is the highest sin. And then the fourth thing that person told, after that I stopped going there and therefore I came to you. What happened? They told us, now whomsoever you have been loving in the past, you have to remove that person from your heart. So how to remove? Take your shoe. I am not creating a story. Take your own shoe, sit down while doing your meditation. Take the shoe in the hand, sit down, and remember that person to whom you love. And then remember him and hit on the floor that I don't love him, I don't love him, I don't love him. And this is the way you remove everything from your heart and be dedicated to me only. See, this is what Pramada Moha. They want only one way. There is no other way of thinking. There is no other way of spiritual path. Such people become obsessed, and as a result, ajnanamevacha. Bhagavan in Kathopanishad very clearly told us, avidyayamantare vartamana swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana. What is the meaning of living in ignorance? Living in relativity is living in ignorance. Therefore, pramada moho tamasaha bhavataha ajnanam evacha. Thus, because of this tamoguna, these three of them become our character. So, these three things are to be constantly observed in one's own personality. So that, what for to observe? So that we can correct ourselves. The moment you start feeling that, you are getting too lazy, you are feeling too sleepy, so do two things. Get yourself medically checked. Maybe there is something wrong in your system. Don't pull on. Second thing, if this is happening, then maybe you are getting mentally depressed somewhere. Something is hurting you. Something has happened which you are not ready to accept. And therefore, we start imagining that I want to take spiritual path. It is more of a depression than a spiritual path. Therefore, pramada moha tamas, if it is happening, be aware. Or sometime when we get too aggressive, too much involved with the world and too much of a poultry farm. You have seen in our dining hall how there is only goes on and on and that poor fellow has put a notice, keep silence. So they have kept the silence silent. They keep on talking. Then it becomes the swabhava. They can't change themselves. And then the third one is sattva. So all these things are the parameters to be observed in one's own life so that we are able to transcend the three gunas. What I told you in the beginning of the talk. Tyage naike amritatva manashu. You have to give up. But that renunciation must be done with understanding. And if you do something without understanding, you reject something, and then you start suffering. Like, you must have done also. Sometime they say everything is useless, I am going to throw it, and you throw it out. And where is that key? And then again you go on searching there. So before you throw, you must know what you are throwing. And therefore understanding is very clear. So if your correct understanding comes, you know what will happen? You will stop hating tamoguna, you will stop disagreeing with the rajoguna, and you will stop getting arrogant with the sattva-guna. Why? They don't belong to you. Why should you worry about them? See, the whole thing suddenly changes. And therefore, adding more facets about the three gunas, what it leads to, 18th verse, urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthaha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaghanya gunavruttasthaha adho gacchanti tamasaha urdhvam gacchanti devalokadishu utpadyante sattvastaha sattvagunavrastaha. Now, those people who are predominantly sattvic in their character, and in this manner they keep on living life through lives, they ultimately start taking births in the higher worlds. Which are the higher world? Bhuva, Jana, Tapa, Maha, Satyam, the higher worlds. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvastaha. So, they devalokadishu utpadyante sattva guna vrittastaha. Now, based on this principle is the study of all the Yoga Shastra. Based on this principle is all the practice of all the Siddha Marga. In the Siddha Marga, there are two types of approaches. One approach is Yoga Marga, where emphasis is over the control of matter. Sayyama Trayamekatra. Yoga Marga. In case of the Siddha Marga, the important and emphasis is on the mantra sadhana. So they give you the mantra. And then they don't tell you much about other things. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara. They say, you do this mantra, japa. And then that person has only one project in his mind. So, then the Guru Maharaj tells, this Amma, she has done 30 lakhs of mantra. No others are all. See, Maharaj told she has done 30 lakhs of mantra. See how he is appreciating her, and she has become closer to him. Okay. Then ask him. And then they tell, whatever mantra you do, you should offer it to the Guru. So, if that mantra becomes sanctified, if it is offered to the Guru. And slowly, they get involved in this spiritual practice. And as a result, their mind is totally tuned into this relativity. And then they are told, you will go to the Siddhalok. You will have the divine vision. But one thing basically we forget, that this is keeping us in the relative world. See? When it is said that Nasa bhuyo bhi jayate, he is not born again. If that is the ultimate, not being born again, then why to talk about the next life? Why to bother and give too much importance that after you do this thing, you will go to the higher world? See? Therefore, when I am emphasizing this point again and again, you must properly understand that every path is good. Nothing is wrong in any path. But always remember, where are we getting caught up? If we get caught up in relativity, we are following these three things. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasa, jaganya ganamrityastha, adho gacchanti tamasaha. So they are all the time talking only about the relative world. And in this, it is the relative immortality. Like Amrita Swarupacha, Satu Asmin Param Prema Rupa Amrita Swarupacha. Now what is the meaning of Amrita? That depends what you understand by that word. So on this Prithvi Lok, in this mortal world, Amrita is what? Food is Amrit. Because that takes care of our life. In the heavens, where these Daityas and Devas have churned that milky ocean and taken out that Amrita Kalasha, and then the Mohini has to come and cheat the Daityas and give everything to the Devas. So that is another Amrita, but it is of the heaven. But that is also only the relative Amrita. Why? In relation to the lifespan in the mortal world, in heavens it is better. But there also, Kshine Punye Martalokam Vishanti. It is not eternal heaven. Therefore, the real meaning of the immortality is only one: recognition of your immortal self. Therefore, all these things which are told, they should be clearly understood. Don't go on dreaming that I have gone in the higher world. So, urdhvam gacchanti deva lokadishu utpadyante sattvastaha sattva gunamrittastaha. Now about this thing, another more deep knowledge. We all know in our Mahabharata, the various characters around whom the whole Mahabharata story is woven. Who are those characters? Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, then Kauravas, Pandavas, Pandu, Dhritarashtra, see, Draupadi. Do you think they were ordinary human beings? No. All of them were, somebody was born out of the Yajna, Draupadi. Bhishmacharya was one of the Ashtavasus. Arjuna was cursed when he went to the heaven, that you will become important for at least 1 year. See? What is the difference? It is the same relative existence. And therefore, we have to understand this and then discard it. Then only we are really understanding what Bhagavan Krishna is talking. Or else we will continue to be only in this relative world. So, urdhvam gacchanti deva lokadishu utpadyante sattvastha sattvagunamrittastaha. That means they are again born. So, if they are born, they will die again. Madhye tishtanti manusheshu utpadyante rajasaha. Because rajoguna is karma and karma yoni is manushya yoni, therefore they will be born in the human form again. Then jaganya gunamrittastaha. Jaganyaha cha asau gunaha. Jaganya gunaha tamaha. Jaganya means most disgusting. Jaganya means that which is worthy of condemnation. Agha and jagha. Jaganya, it is most sinful existence. So Jaganya guna vrittastaha, those who are abiding in this disgusting lifestyle of a tamo guna, tamasaha, adaha gacchanti, they are born in the lowest world. So Jaganya gunaha tamaha tasya vrittam. What is the vritta? What is the lifestyle of the tamo guna? Nidra lasyadi tasmin sita Jaganya guna vrittastha mudhaha. See, many times, when you watch the world, this thought comes again and again in my mind when I see. Like, many people have got dogs in their house as the pet. or you see the things, animals, plants here and there, and you just watch, think about them. Yes, they are born and they are growing and they run here and there for food. If they are lucky enough, they get the food fed given by their most loving Miss Universe. People want to go near her, but she keeps herself away. And the dog wants to go away, but she goes and hugs him. Isn't it? And when you look at those animals, what is that? They just born and grow and then eat and then that is all. Or there is something more in life. So if we are spending our whole life only like this, nidra alasya ityadibihi yukta, only associated with this laziness, sleep, pramad, again and again the same mistake doing, such people are born in the lower wombs like animals. Now, after having said this, now Bhagavan Shankaracharya summarizes what has been said so far. This is a very good compilation of the total thought. Please understand this. This will give you a very good insight. Purushasya prakrutisthatva rupena मिथ्याज्ञानेन युक्तस्य भोगेषु गुणेषु सुख दुःख मोहात्मकेषु सुखी दुखी मूढ़ः अहम अस्मि इति एवं रूपो यहाँ संगः तत्कारणं पुरुषस्य सद असद योनि जन्म प्राप्ति लक्षणस्य संसारस्य इति समासेन पूर्वाध्याये यद उक्तम तद यह सत्वं रजस्तमयति गुणा प्रकृति संभवाः इत्यतः आरभ्य गुणस्वरूपं गुणवृत्तं स्ववृत्तेन च गुणानां बन्धकत्वं गुणवृत्त निबन्धस्य पुरुषस्य यागति इति एतत् सर्वं मिथ्या ज्ञानम् अज्ञानमूलं बन्धकारणेन बन्धकारणं विस्तरेण उक्त्वा अधुना सम्यक् दर्शनात् मोक्षो वक्तव्यः इति आह भगवान्. There can't be any better presentation of the thought than this. What Bhagavan says in the last chapter, that is in the 13th chapter, what was said? Purushaha prakrutistho hi bhungte prakrutijan gunan. So, Purushasya prakrutisthatva rupena. When the Purusha starts functioning through the limitations of the Prakriti, Trigunatmika, as a result what happens? Mithya jnana takes place. What is the mithya jnana? Mithya jnana is mistaking oneself to be a jiva. See? What is essentially? Essentially kshetrajna. Then what is the meaning of the kshetrajna? Jiva. Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. I remember for the first time initially when I was studying Gita, there used to be one old man, I don't know if he is still there, he must have died now, he was very old that time itself. And he was very fond of me and we used to go for a walk. And he used to take up only these topics for discussion. And there he had asked this question about the second chapters, Vasamsi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya, whether this verse talks about the Jiva or the Paramatma. See? That depends on how you look at that verse. What is said in that verse? That like a man changes his clothes when they are old and takes new, in the same manner the Atma throws the old clothes and takes the new. Now the question is, what do you understand by Atma? Should we say Kshetrajna chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata, or should we say that the Jivatma? So when he asked me, I said, I don't know why you have got doubt, but it is very clear, it is only the Paramatma. Because you see the topic what is being developed. The topic is, na jayate mriyate va vipaschit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha. So that which is never born dies, etc. So even an illusion is also never born and never dies because it doesn't exist. But then Bhagavan said, Nityaha sarvagatasthanu achaloyam sanatanaha. We are not talking about the illusory jiva, but we are talking about the absolute reality. Therefore, this verse talks about the Parabrahma Paramatma and not the Jivatma. So when I told him, he said, I don't know where from you are telling all these things. All these years I have been hearing Gita and going everywhere, and I was all the time thinking, like the person goes from one house to another house, in the same manner the jiva leaves the present body and enter the another body. And this is also said in our this Upanishad, that Upanishad, that after, if you die in the Tamoguna, you go to the lower yoni. If you die, you go to the upper yoni. What is this and all that? I said, what can I do? Your understanding. See here very clearly. Purushasya prakriti sthatva sarupena mithya jnanena yukteshu. If you have mistaken yourself to be the jiva, then bhogeshu, guneshu, then you will have prakriti is for what? Purushasya bhogapavargartham. Then we start imagining Prakriti is for the enjoyment of the Purusha. And who is Purusha? Jiva. Therefore, Mithya Jnanena Yuktasya, when we have mistaken our identity, then Bhogeshu Guneshu Sukha Dukkha Mohatmakeshu. Then Bhoga, how this Prakriti will give the Bhoga? Prakriti gives us Bhoga through these three gunas in three ways. So which are those three ways? Sukha Dukkha Mohatmakeshu. The Sattva Guna gives the Sukha, the Rajo Guna gives Dukkha, and the Tamo Guna gives the Moha. Sukha Dukkha Mohatmakeshu. As a result of this Mithya Jnanena, one becomes identified. What is that? Sukhi Dukhi Mudaha Aham Asmi Iti. Then Evam Rupaha Yaha Sangaha. So this identification with the Prakriti is the cause. What you have to do? You don't have to destroy the Prakriti, only change your identity. And this is so simple these days to understand. Every alternate family, husbands and wives are getting divorced. What they are doing is liberation like this only, nothing else. As long as I am identified with you as a wife, then I have got too many expectations, do this, don't do this. The moment divorce takes place, then you are free, I am free. So where is that wife? It's only in the mind, it's only imagination. In the same manner, I am the body, I am Sukhi, I am Dukhi. This is only the play of mind. In the deep sleep, we are neither the body nor Sukhi Dukhi. Therefore, this sangaha tat karanam purushasya sad asad yoni janma prapti lakshanasya samsarasya. Therefore, if the purushaha prakristho hi, even if he is residing in the prakriti, if he doesn't get influenced by the prakriti, then what is that? Upadrashta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatme picha pyuktaha dehismin purusha paraha. Now see. Therefore, this must become very clear to us, that we will never get carried away by any other temptations of the glory of any other thing. You will get this, you will get that. Like, the other day somebody told me, if you don't believe this thing, you will go to hell. Now, you can frighten or threaten somebody to go to hell. If that fellow accepts it, he said, okay, then we will see you there. See? Like the child was frightened by her mother in Badrinath, she was giving a lot of trouble. See, sleep now. If you don't sleep, now that ghost will come, okay? Thank you, mom. At least I will have somebody to play with. Now the one who wants to play with the ghost, can you frighten that? In the same manner, here, all the problems are only because of this identification. So, sangaha tat karanam purushasya sad asad yoni janma prapti lakshanasya samsarasya. iti samasena purvadhyaye yad uktam. This was what is said in the earlier chapter. Tad iha, in the 14th chapter now, Sattvam Rajastamaiti Guna Prakriti Sambhavaha, starting from here, Guna Swarupam. What is the Swarupa of the three Gunas? Guna Vrittam. When the Gunas are becoming our character, what happens? Swavruttena cha Gunanam Bandhakatvam. How the three Gunas are the causes of bondage. Then Guna Vratta Nibaddhasya Purushasya Yagati. Then when such a person, when he dies, where does he go? And then iti etat sarvam mithya jnanam ajnana moolam bandhakaranena vistarena uktva. See, all this is only a story. Don't take it to be very serious. So etat sarvam mithya jnanam, because ajnana moolam, born out of the wrong understanding. And this becomes bandhakaranam vistarena uktva. Having explained everything in exhaustive detail, adhuna, now, samyak darshanat moksho vaktavyaha. So the liberation is not in the Prakriti, but liberation is from the Prakriti. And how from the Prakriti? Only by disidentification. And for that, in the 19th verse, Bhagavan gives us the most enchanting thought and the depth that we'll take in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.